I believe in aliens. I believe we are aliens, but allegedly we're
Ooh, that's for
humans.
a whole
Uh,
nother
Wait,
podcast.
you say that
allegedly
we are
we're
aliens?
humans. So, but I do believe that we have alien DNA. Sorry. Not sorry.
All right, and now we're back for part two. Once again, I just want to make sure that I say this disclaimer and make sure that everybody understands. Please do not sue us. But every time we say anything, we are saying it allegedly. We're going to go ahead and continue where we left off with Joe and Savannah Guthrie.
Yeah, my bad. Her name is Savannah, not Samantha. But as everyone knows, she's the co-anchor on the Today Show. And she has a big platform out there. And she gave this platform to an Epstein survivor. She gave her this platform. She talked about how she was allegedly, Prince Andrew, took advantage of her on the island out there. So because of all of that, allegedly, we all know Savannah's mom, Nancy Guthrie, was kidnapped this year in January. And she still hasn't been found, guys. An 84-year-old woman out there, taken from her home. No one knows where she's at. So there's obviously, my feed is wild with conspiracy theories. Let me tell you, keeps me up at night, like Lisa says. But, conspiracy theory is, hey, she's probably getting backlash from Epstein because she gave this platform to this woman and now her mom's gone. So we don't know where she's at, but I mean, there's all these celebrities that, are trying to put themselves out there about what Epstein did not do. And which brings me to another conspiracy theory out there with Michael Jackson. Have y'all heard about that?
Yeah, no, I'm not really sure how he gets into all of this.
Yes, I have, Joe. So I can't wait for you to talk about it.
So this whole time, guys, whenever Michael Jackson was brought up, and I was like, man, this Neverland island that he had that was, built for all these kids. It kind of felt a little weird. Like, why is he playing with these little boys and little girls all the time? Well, there's this whole allegation out there that he was a pedophile himself. He molested, all these little, and so people were just like, what? And he had to fight all these lawsuits, all these money, pay out all this money to, fight, these allegations. Well, the conspiracy is he was building that island to save children from going to this Epstein island.
So he built Neverland.
He built Neverland to save them. And
he built to save them or to save and touch them.
Oh no!
Because wasn't he sued for that too? Somebody got 15 million at that time just to stay quiet.
And I think that's why the elites were going after him, right? Because they didn't want him to take all of their, the kids that they were taking advantage of, right?
And one of those being that he saved and has gone on record to say so is Macaulay Culkin when he's like, Michael Jackson saved my life. And he was one of the ones to speak up for Michael Jackson when all of that was going on with the trials and everything. And so, like you said, Joe, he built Neverland to save the kids, and Neverland allegedly got the name Neverland because Neverland equals never go to the island.
It's just, that's just heartbreaking.
But why didn't he save more kids?
How do we know?
I mean, he was known for inviting a lot of kids and families to Neverland Ranch.
I don't.
And I think that's why, it could be misconstrued that the media would say, well, he wanted all these kids to come here because he's a pedophile. That's why he built this ranch that's attracting kids and all these, it's basically a theme park. But on what Jolene's saying, on the other side, you can see, well, maybe he built the ranch because it was, you're either going to the island or if I can get you to come to this awesome ranch that has all these carnivals and everything, maybe I can save you.
Yeah, and if you can spend the night with me and sleep with me in my bed, then yeah, I'll definitely save you. Allegedly.
Ooh, looks into
That's a good
Lisa.
one.
That's what
Allegedly.
was going through my mind too whenever I was seeing those videos, like he's inviting these little boys and staying the night, because like a part of me was like, Michael Jackson like was a pedophile, but then this came out and I'm like, it, and the Epstein, files and everything that comes with it. It's like, I don't know. Now, what do I believe? Because I'm being gaslit everywhere. Like people are feeding me lies. You can't believe anything anymore.
I hate
The
to tell
media
you
can kind
this.
of control what they put out there and what it is that they're feeding you to.
There you go.
On your
Right
algorithm,
there.
what
Yeah.
you're
Yes.
looking, what you're reading, that's controlled by the media, and it's not always accurate.
And
Right.
AI makes it worse because there's all these AI videos, and a lot of times it's hard to, I mean, there are some that are really good and it's hard to tell, and there are some that are really bad and it's very obvious, but still AI makes it worse too.
Correct. And you're going to be upset with me, Joe, because I saw a video that Michael Jackson's still alive.
Oh God.
On God, they show the ambulance being followed. They show him going to this tunnel. Doesn't even look like a hospital entrance. And they see him just get out and walk out.
I can't believe
He's
that.
still alive.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
Tupac's alive?
Right.
I heard that too, and he lives in Cuba.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Pero, I mean, but what we're saying truly is we don't really know. So
I think
you know what I'm saying?
I think
Like,
that's the biggest that's the biggest thing there, is that you really don't know, because the media is giving you what they want you to hear, right? And I was going back to Epstein, like, please understand when I say yes, 100%, I understand the pedophile aspect of what he did. Like, I guess a lot, when you are saying kids, yes, I know that like 17 is a kid, right? But like, there was like some 14-year-olds, if I'm not mistaken, that was on that show, the Netflix show, that their parents allegedly sold them or rented them or made money to give their kids to him.
They were young kids, younger kids.
Right. So what about his fiance or his wannabe wife? What was her name?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah,
she doesn't look like herself now. That
so like,
she's in jail.
are we putting all of this just solely on one man?
But
is that
that's not his wife, though. That was his
no,
right?
No, she wanted to be his wife. It was his girlfriend, and they had separated for a while, but she stayed around. Because I watched her show as well, and she thought that there was going to be something further. Her intentions were to marry him, but he was not going to marry her. But looking at that relationship,
of course, she wasn't a kid.
Looking at the relationship with her and her dad, I kind of thought maybe there was something strange going on there. Like maybe she was getting assaulted some way from her dad. Maybe not. That relationship was just a little too close for comfort. And meeting what's his name? Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, meeting him kind of after her dad passed away kind of just intensified it. And from what I was seeing is she was the one that was bringing all these women to him, right? Or wrong?
Yeah, she was grooming the victims for him.
She was grooming it.
Yeah.
Right. So we're just kind of like, I don't know. It's hard. I'm really, really hard, because I was also seeing a lot of these women that he was assaulting, really, from what it sounds like, were going back, and they were continuing to go back. And it's like, some were bringing their sisters to him. I'm just kind of indifferent. Like, what are we being told? What is true?
I was going to say, because one of the things that you mentioned was some of them even brought their siblings to them. So one of the things that we referenced in the first episode was how some of us watched the Netflix series of Jeffrey Epstein, right? So on that one, I feel like these were the very first victims, right? Allegedly. And her sister got involved because, or I guess I don't know, I don't want to say led her sister to Jeffrey Epstein, but it was we can help her get into an Ivy League school. So for her, it was an opportunity for her sister. But at the same time, I also think, from a parent perspective, I don't know if I would let my child, I don't care if she's a senior in high school, fly over here to this place with someone that I don't even know because they're offering her the opportunity for an Ivy League school. Like, okay, that's fine, but I'm going to go with her type thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I say a lot of times, again, it's the money. And that's probably what the attraction was of how it started. Now, them going back, I don't know.
I just didn't. That's the part I just didn't understand. Like, I think for me, it's really hard just to put all of my thoughts on social media. Really,
For me, Ghislaine Maxwell needs to stay in prison for the rest of her life. I think
100%.
she was put in there for 20 years. That bitch needs to stay in, because if I catch that bitch out, like, she's gonna go down quickly. She's ruined many women's lives out there, and I feel like that bitch hasn't even shown any remorse for what she's done.
Mm-mm.
And you know what, Joe? Going back to a lot of people, I allegedly heard that John Bonet, remember the pretty little girl?
Oh yes, I've heard that too.
I heard that she was put on that island with them.
I've heard
Not
that too.
long ago, and I was like, golly, like, is that why that girl was missing? Like,
We never know.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, I'm not making excuses for him at all, by no means. But I think a lot of like, God, I can never say her name.
Ghislaine,
like, is not being as publicized as she needs to be, because she was one of the main
groomers.
part,
Yeah.
right? Like, because think about it, these young girls, like, not all. I mean, he wasn't handsome. Nobody knows who he was. Like, nobody knew that he had money. So some guy's going to come and approach you and try to talk to you. You're just going to walk away, right? But this was a female to female, or a female to girl, like, making them feel comfortable and then bringing them in. It's just like, wow.
Yeah.
That part right there is just what I think was hard for me to understand.
I'm
not giving
Erica Kirk did the same. Like, she would take little kids to him.
What?
Oh, please tell us what's going on.
She worked for him, and then there's pictures of her. I mean, it could be AI, but I think they're true. I think she's very shady. Pictures of her with kids, like, going to the island or whatever. But I think that she had something to do with Charlie Kirk's death too.
I mean, yeah, I can't stand that bitch's face. Sorry, I can't.
I'm glad Drewski made a video skit about her. He was really on point.
I definitely think there's something suspicious about her. Like, her facial expressions seem very forced and, like, not
evil.
Real. Yeah,
I listened to Candace Owens' podcast, and she is like she's getting deep. And I think she's getting real deep.
You will get lost in her rabbit holes easily.
Yeah. It's like she's the only one that's kind of fighting for the truth behind his death.
And real quick, can I go back to the Guthrie thing? I don't blame her kids, but how do you not have your mom's ring set up? She lives alone in the desert. When my mom became a widow, like, I set her up real quick. She has cameras. Like, how do they not do that? You know what I mean?
That's like the biggest thing for me that's hard to believe. As many ring cameras like on the streets, just in general, how could she just disappear the way that she did?
Yeah.
Like,
okay, so I'm glad y'all are going back to Guthrie here, because I feel like we didn't have closure on that. We kind of went straight to Michael Jackson, but I feel, it could be conspiracy around Epstein, but also it could be inside, like her family. She had a pacemaker. It skyrocketed at 2 a.m. And then like 20, 30 minutes later, the pacemaker just goes offline.
Yeah, that's not.
Someone knew she had a pacemaker, and families, like, the family had to, like, it could have been allegedly, a family member that, knew that she had that and turned it off or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely suspicious and sad all over. And who knows? I mean, like, what to believe anymore? Because, like I said, we're getting gaslit everywhere.
So they ruled out all her family, supposedly. Is that what was being said? Like, they were all being interviewed? Yeah, that's weird, because a pacemaker just doesn't, like,
turn off.
Yeah.
And all the facial recognition and everything that's out there, how does someone it has to be a neighborhood that's affluent, how do you just disappear with, like, no trace after I don't even know how many months now?
A lot of people disappear.
Like, kids disappear, right? But this is a lady, like,
out of her own home in an affluent neighborhood where almost everyone either has a camera, a ring camera, or cameras all around the property, like, and license plate cameras. Like, you're in a you're in a city that's going to have facial recognition, all the traffic cameras, like, everything. How do you the only footage is somebody coming to your door and there's nothing else?
Yeah, I was going to say there
Doesn't
was
That's set up.
footage, right?
That's
and
set
other
up.
stuff.
That's set up. It's
Yeah.
disclosure.
I mean, like if
It's
you're
just
in the
now-
hood, like South Dallas, okay, yeah, you could probably disappear. But like somewhere like that, like I mean, there's so many cameras. Like how could there be nothing?
So
And she does have neighbors?
she has neighbors. Yes, she
Okay.
has neighbors. But what Francis was saying is like, being set up. It could have been set up to distract us from digging more into the Epstein files, right? Because then now we're focused on something else. Like, who knows? Like, what's real? Again, what's real and not real? Like, she's probably sitting eating bonbons in a nice hotel right now, and
and we're bothering her, talking about it for no reason.
I just think it's sad all around. It's just, I hope she's found
Safely.
but at this point, she was taken in beginning of January.
Sometime in January. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look good.
And not just that, it to me, I think it was a little weird too that the FBI was posting or putting out a reward. Like it took the family like some time before they offered one, which I thought it was a little weird. Like since when did the FBI put out rewards? Yeah, no, they put out a reward. It wasn't the family yet, so it wasn't the family until like later on, which I thought was a little weird.
So what was the whole Bitcoin thing?
But like, I think there was like some ransom that she had to pay through Bitcoin, right?
Well, crypto is money that's not traced. That's why they're having so many problems with the SEC, because a lot of cartels use crypto now to exchange their money. So that's probably something.
Why wouldn't you pay it though?
Right.
Yeah, I think that's where I got lost, Chris, because I remember somebody saying something about a ransom. I'm like, why didn't they just pay it?
Was it an obscene amount? Does anyone know what the amount was?
Mm-mm.
I don't
No,
remember.
I didn't really look into it. I sadly, sorry. I try to not make my brain go crazy, but it's going crazy today. I'm learning a lot today. So, we do hope that she is safe. Hopefully she is sitting on a couch eating bonbons, like Joe said, enjoying her life. And all of this is just a big conspiracy. But Lisa, you were talking about Kirk. So Charlie Kirk's wife also being involved with Epstein, and that you feel like she killed her husband, allegedly. Is that what you said, or had something to do with it?
Yeah, I think she had something like, it's just, everything is just weird to me. I guess everyone does mourn differently, but she's just like out there and she's extra. And now that the bullet doesn't match that guy's gun, like I don't think that it's the truth. And I really hope Candace Owens finds the answers and the truth.
She gives me the ick.
Wait,
Erica Kirk or
Oh,
Candace?
not Candace. Erica.
Erica Kirk, yeah.
No, Candace speaks a lot of logic. Like I can follow her, because what does she have to lose? Like what does she have to gain? I mean, like saying this stuff. I mean, but Erica gives me the ick.
Listeners,
And Candace, whatever she says, though, she always backs it up with facts. She's just not speaking an opinion. She comes with facts. She always will say, this is what I found and this is where it came from. Like, that's the one thing that I like about her, is that she will dig deep, but she's going to come to you with what she found.
It's like you said, Lisa, like everyone mourns differently. But I think one of the things that I was thinking after he passed away is all the changes that happened in her life. And I mean, really, like, just to put it plainly, like she profited off of it in like the position like that she got and all of that. And I'm like, I don't know. So I see your point.
And like one of the things that Candace Owens pointed out was that he was all about, like, in his speeches, he'd be like, women should just be moms, shouldn't work. And like now she's this, CEO of it or whatever, Turning Point. But she is like, he always wanted me. He said that I'd be good to take it over and stuff. But she's like, well, he never thought women should work. Like, they should be moms. And that was his whole speech, is like, get married, have kids.
was she pro Charlie Kirk, or
They were really good friends.
Yeah.
They were really good friends. They were really good friends.
And I think she was like his top person at Turning Point. Wasn't she like, I don't know for sure, but I want to say she was like his right hand, basically.
somewhere along there?
Yeah, like CMO, CEO, something like that. I don't know for sure, but I know that she was up there in Turning Point with him, and they were very close, really good friends for a long time.
So y'all really think that somebody can be as sick as what you're saying? Like, wasn't she up there? Wasn't her kids there at that rally too, on the stage
No.
with them?
No,
What?
No.
I thought
I heard they were.
I heard they were.
that's what I heard too. But no, she wasn't there.
Again,
she
we
was
get lied. We get lied to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
So that's why I'm like looking like, really? Y'all think that somebody would really do that in front of their children, or in front of, I don't know. That's hard.
Well, to make it look real, I guess you would have to.
Like the day he died, if not the same day, the next day, she posted a picture of him in his casket with her hands over him. Like that to me is, first off, how do you get in a casket so quickly? Second off, like I wouldn't post something like that. Like I would be cherishing this moment alone with my husband and not put that shit on Facebook or social media.
I think that that's probably unfair to say, because again, everybody does grieve differently.
Yeah.
I have seen some strange things happen after like a loved one has passed away. Don't know where the mindset is at, but I do agree with you. Like if
Everything was fast. Like from the time that he was shot to the time he went to the, they put him in the ambulance and they took off to where I guess they put him on the plane, and I guess that he was already in the casket from there. And then I think, I don't know, did they ever go back and do an autopsy? Because at one point they were saying that they didn't do one, or they weren't going to do one.
So when you say everything was fast, weren't there like a lot of high profile political people like supporting him or backing him, trying to find out who murdered him? You don't think that their money could have sped it up, or Epstein could have sped it up?
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. I'm just one of those people that try to like look at it like from the other side. I'm not saying one way is the other, but again, social media just has us all kinds of crazy.
Totally.
Some things are true, and then some things we don't know. But if this Candace Owens lady that you guys follow and listen to, y'all know her to speak facts, and then that's actually something to really think about.
Like
I
at
don't
the
know if she
memorial,
always speaks. I think she goes into wormholes too. I do.
I don't know. I just started watching her recently, but I think that like at the memorial, how she was like, I forgive the boy who killed her husband, but yet she's making a big ass deal about this guy who's making fun of her. It's supposed to be comedy, and she's like making a big deal about it, but she's okay with the man that shot her husband. I just think there's a whole big story behind it. I think she's maybe not set it up, but went along with it to get the power. I don't know. She was on reality shows. She said she never had boyfriends before Charlie, but there's proof of her boyfriends before Charlie. So she's just very, very shady and sketchy.
Fake. I mean,
I believe she was dating Donald Trump too? Allegedly.
Francis.
I mean, I just like him, but I'm not trying to be like bad by him. Like I just heard.
Yeah.
I mean, is Charlie Kirk dead? I believe he is.
I believe.
Was he set up? I believe
Yes.
that was true. And I think we'll find out who killed him or what the story was. But no, because we are going to always be lied to, kind of like John F. Kennedy, right? No one knows.
Oh my God, I was just thinking that.
No one knows. I mean, someone knows, but not us. Yeah. We won't know. They released those files, apparently, allegedly, and I haven't seen any justice or heard any justice behind that. But
that's a conspiracy right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's one we could just kind of go all day on.
Yeah. So welcome to my feed, guys.
I definitely think that one thing is the media can control like what is put out there, and that can determine what you think and what you believe, and they can spin it any way they want. There's nobody controlling like what the media can and can't put out there, because it is freedom of speech or freedom. There's so many things around it where, okay, like we're allowed to put out whatever we want, but as somebody who's getting that information, you are not always you don't always know what those sources are and whether or not it's real. So it's very easy to believe what it is that you see online and what you read, and there's nothing that's controlling that. So it comes down to like, okay, what are you reading and what are you believing? And there's nobody controlling that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like the media can do whatever they want, and if they have an idea or a perspective that they want you to believe, it's very easy for them to feed that and continue feeding that to people to make you believe those things. That's kind of what I think.
No, 100%. And
100.
that's
Yes,
what's
I
so
agree with
scary.
Sophie. Yes.
That's what's so scary. Like, it's all about like who Joe, what Joe brings to our social medias.
Which we love.
Oh, yes. Like, it's kind of like, okay, we're going to look at this, but then let's go ahead and look at this to see what they both say. And like, okay, who are we going to believe? Like, it's just so wild. It's so wild. And I can see how people get lost, how some actually go crazy, how some of them don't sleep at night. Like I can see how people are so hateful because they're just gonna just sit there and believe the craziest things. And I'm over here thinking that lady's sweet. Perception, right? Perception's horrible. I don't know anything about it. I didn't see anything about. I just was like, oh man, like they just murdered her husband, and she looks like she's just some sweet.
Does she look sweet because of her skin color? Allegedly,
No,
that's a hot topic in America.
Yeah, that's true. But no,
Yeah.
she looked for me, the parts that I seen, again, I didn't go and search her. I don't know both sides, but to me, she seemed like at the time when it first happened, a grieving wife at the time. But I don't know anything about her to know that it was fake. I didn't know she was pretending allegedly, or maybe not. I don't know who they were. I never even knew who Charlie.
Yeah, I thought the same.
Neither did I before them.
You can easily just fall into it, and then no telling where you're going to go. Thank goodness all 7 of us are strong-minded and don't let us not come out of the rabbit hole that we get into.
But I do love that when one of us falls into the rabbit hole, the other ones are quick to remind us, like, hey, you're in a rabbit hole. What is on your algorithm?
Get out.
I'll tell y'all one story
Fake news.
that really, really messed me up. About 8 years ago, we took Nevaeh and Nia to spring break, and we went to New Mexico. We stayed in Santa Fe because it was cheaper. We went to Albuquerque. We went to a church that was prayed on a novella, and a guy came and built these stairs for this nuns, and it's all over the internet, all that. And I had a wonderful time learning about God, learning about novellas, praying, all that. And then 2 days later, I take the girl to Roswell. Fucked all of us up. My parents were messed up. The girls were messed up. I mean, we're learning about God. We're learning about all this. Then all of a sudden, we're learning about UFOs, Roswell, how they took the aliens to Fort Worth. I mean, there's documents. We left so confused, Porosita. I think I allegedly fucked them up that night.
Stop.
For real. But myself as well. Because, one day we're learning about God and novellas and praying, and then the next day we're learning about UFOs and how the government covered it up, allegedly. So
I'm really scared of your algorithm, France. I'm not going to even lie.
girl,
It's from one end to the next.
Girl,
We don't know what we're going to get.
That's sorry.
Hey, but Francis, I know we're not going to go into this, but the stairs that you're talking about, that's something that everybody should Google, because that story is crazy about the church in New Mexico.
Yes.
Very interesting story.
I have
and
a
so
little
if you
card
haven't
about
heard
it.
of it, I know we probably don't have time to talk about it today, but you should definitely look into that, because that will
Share it
definitely
with
get
us.
your mind.
I sure will.
Yeah, I was going to ask, can you share that again?
Sure.
What is it that you want us to look up?
Francis, do you want to?
I'll look it up and I'll send it to y'all, because it really messed with all of us. Like my
You
mom.
want me to give you a
Y'all
Cliff
know my
Notes
mom
version of it?
prays, right? My
Yeah.
mom prays, and she was like,
So-
"I can't believe you did this to us." I was like, "Roswell did it."
We can't let the listeners keep them hanging, talking about, oh, I'll send it to y'all on the side. Like, what are y'all talking about? What is it? Help us out, Nate.
So there's a church in New Mexico, and I cannot recall the name, but Francis will probably chime in here in a minute with a name. But basically, the story goes, it's a church that's basically run down, and it's run by nuns, and it's falling apart. And so they're praying to see if somebody can help them to get this church back up and running again. And they pray for several days. And one night, in the middle of the night, this man shows up and asks if he can. And again, the story may not be completely correct, so please look into it yourself. But basically, this man shows up and he comes in and asks if he needs food, he needs shelter. So they offer it to them. And in exchange, he offers that he's a carpenter. And so he sees that the church is run down and he offers to help with the church. So in exchange, they offer him food and shelter for work. And Francis, feel free to chime in anytime if you feel like the story is different.
No.
And
Please
so
go ahead.
so over the next few weeks, he builds them a staircase.
10 days
their
exactly.
church.
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. So 10 days, he builds them a staircase. And he doesn't want to be bothered. He doesn't want any help. They try to offer him all these things. And he's like, no, just food and shelter. And I'm going to build a staircase. I don't need any help. I'm going to do it by myself. So over the few days or whatever, they don't see him. And at the end of the time, the staircase is done. And so they come, they're like, wow, he built this staircase for us. He's like, okay, I built it. I'm done. Thank you for the shelter, for the food. And then he leaves.
It is called
Right?
the Loretta Chapel.
Yes. And so after he leaves, they realize this staircase is completely built of wood. There's no nails. They go to the locals. He never got wood from anyone. He never got tools. He never got anything. And he built this staircase for
with
them.
3 items.
Exactly.
3 items. Yeah.
This part of the story apparently is true.
Wow.
And going back to my architecture background, to this day, no architecture can prove how the staircase was built. They have no idea how this was built out of the 3 tools with wood. There's no nails. There's no modern architecture to it, but it's still standing. And so the story goes is they think that it was actually Jesus because he was a carpenter. They were nuns who had been praying for help. And to this day, the chapel still stands. And for a while, they let people go in there. I think, Francis, you went and visited it, right? My mom visited it.
I did.
as well.
And I took pictures in front of it. And believe it or not, every time I see a Netflix movie or a show and they put that scene on there, I get so hype. I'm like, I've been there, and I do bark. I'm not going to lie. But there's not that many people that can say they've been there and seen it with their eyes. They're allowed to touch it. We're not allowed to go up it. They do block it off, but you're able to put your hand on it. And the gloss and the fact that there's no nails and it's perpendicular to a 360 and he had nothing, no ladder,
help.
no nothing, no help.
No lumber
The story
from
is
the local.
amazing.
Yeah, it
Story is
is
amazing.
crazy. And
There's exactly 33 staircases. 33 is the number of Jesus when he passed away.
Why don't we go there? Let's go visit that.
I was going to say,
I'd
next
rather do
girls
that
trip,
than
Santa
Sedona.
Fe. Is that-
Ooh,
Oh, and Santa Fe does
Wednesday.
have casinos. New Mexico does
That's
have
another
casinos.
podcast.
for everyone.
Yeah.
Sold.
sorry
yeah,
to go
no
down the
nails.
hole, but I definitely recommend you look into it because my mom went there and then Francis went there, and like I said, I learned about it in architectural history when I was in college, and it stuns architects to this day because nobody knows really how it was built and how it still stands without any nails.
Right.
I'm looking at it right now. I looked it up and wow.
Beautiful
Now I see what
staircase.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
definitely
we were real
something-
confused that trip. I'm not going to lie. We were confused.
That's actually a good story though, because that represents there's a divine presence out there, a good presence where we came from an evil presence of Epstein. So now you're going into a divine presence of a higher being that we all believe in Jesus Christ. So I
Yes.
thank you for rounding that with and I know you were kind of leaning in UFO too, but I feel like that was to me a higher being to help this church, and yeah, it could be Jesus
Right.
Christ that
Or
came.
give us a nice, good sleep without taking melatonin.
Yeah, exactly. Or shots.
Right.
But if I was ever cloned or come back as an alien, please know if I do not say Epstein, then I'm not Jolene. So I'll know the inside joke of that.
I got you, Joe. I got you.
Guys, well, y'all really, really, really did had me questioning a lot of things today. And I can only imagine what's going to continue to come up after this conversation. I know they're listening to us somewhere. Our phones are gonna start
Oh
popping
yeah,
up. all these things.
Tomorrow we're getting tracked. Somebody's gonna be at our door at 8 o'clock. Take that file down, ma'am. Take that file down.
One thing I just want to remind our listeners and anyone else that's probably not agreeing with us is, again, we said it from the start. We don't know if half this stuff is true. It may or may not be. Rather we believe it or don't believe it, it's there, right, for a reason. So clones got me. I'm gonna tell y'all right there, clones. I mean, Epstein, yes. Epstein. How'd you say it? Epstein. Of course. I mean, he's sick, right? But he's hopefully gone or not riding around in Florida somewhere enjoying his life.
He's Palm Beach.
Palm Beach. Yeah.
Get him, Lisa. Get him.
All right. So with that being said, that wraps up part 2 of our Epstein episodes.
Thanks for joining us for all the madness.
And don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms and subscribe where you can.
At Team A Unfiltered.
And leave a review if you love us.
And if you didn't, keep that shit to yourself.
We'll be back next Thursday.
Bye.